We're bringing you stories from the world of business, policy and economy. First up, Life Insurance Corporation, LIC, has recorded a standalone net profit of 13,000 crore and upward for March quarter of financial year 23, growing 466% over the corresponding period in the last fiscal. Also, Tesla is strengthening its bid to enter India, proposes setting up a factory in India to build electric cars for domestic sales and exports. Government is planning to stop chemists from forcing people to buy entire medicine strips. We will be discussing that. And ED, Enforcement Directorate, has raided 25 locations in probe against foreign registered online gaming companies. So news tightening there for gaming companies in India. Finally, Income Tax Department will work on specific data collected through TCS and TDS to identify people evading tax. We will be discussing all of that and more. With me is my colleague Karthik Malhotra. Karthik, good morning.
Hi Shweta, good morning.
Great news coming there for LIC.
Oh yeah, I think it's a day of great news and it's a news-packed day. So there are a lot of stories which we will have to keep our eyes on, and let's see how the day progresses. But yeah, LIC specifically, I think excellent results. Now, it's a six-fold jump when you look at a Y-on-Y quarter 4 to quarter 4 comparison between FY23 and FY24. Now, it's a six-fold net profit increase. When you look at the annual returns, the annual net profit for FY23 and compare that to FY22, then the net profits have actually increased ninefold. So the numbers are really interesting, and we'll put up these numbers shortly here and see. But what's also interesting to note is that on a face value of 10 rupees per share, LIC has declared a dividend, proposed, in fact, the board has proposed a dividend of 3 rupees per share. And that is fairly significant on a face value of 10 rupees. That is almost, that's exactly 30% as dividend, which is not something that one gets to see very often. But I think, you know, the natural question that comes up is that are more people buying insurance? Are more people, not claiming living longer, and LIC is not paying out insurance because people are not dying? Or is the claim ratio down? None of that. Actually, this has been a one-time exercise, a one-off exercise that LIC has done by moving something called solvency margin from the account of the non-par fund, which is in the P&L account. It's a separate fund. The money has been moved from the non-par fund to the shareholders account. So it's a one-off exercise which has been done in the books of LIC, and that has resulted in these mammoth numbers. Not as much on account of more number of people paying insurance premium.
In fact, I was about to come to that. Is it because more people are buying policies suddenly?
No, so LIC has pretty clearly mentioned that this is on account of this transfer which has happened from non-par fund to shareholders account, and it is unlikely to recur. So, you know, when you compare Q4 next year, there is a great chance that you will see a sizable dip as compared to Q4 of 2023.
Okay, so while it's good news for now,
it's good news for shareholders. It's good news for people who invested in LIC, stayed invested in LIC. It's a great dividend offer for them, and I think LIC listed just about 18-20 months ago. So from that standpoint, the early movers, the first movers who got into the stock, have turned out to be winners ultimately. But I doubt this luck is going to continue for those who enter the LIC stock today.
Okay, and another very interesting news coming in for LIC, because LIC has also invested substantially in Adani stocks. LIC investment has hit 45,000 crore in less than 2 months, as we see a rebound in Adani stocks. So good news for LIC and its investment, because I remember when the entire Adani Hindenburg saga came to light, a lot of questions were raised, of course, on public sector banks and on LIC for its investment in the Adani portfolio, and what sort of impact will that see post, we saw a stock market crash of sorts for Adani. But now with stocks doing well and rebouncing, LIC is also making money on its stock value.
Like is everybody else who has invested and stayed invested in the Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports, and all the 10 stocks listed in the Adani, from the Adani stable. So LIC, of course, is a large lender, and it has always been cash rich. It has always been a public sector undertaking, so to speak, with a clean sort of record and balance sheet and P&L of its own. So it has been a lender, it has invested in a lot of infrastructure projects. Adani, of course, being one of the largest infrastructure developers in India, with businesses from ports to airports to roads, highways, tunnels, bridges, etc. LIC was obviously one of the many financiers from the Indian holdings to invest in Adani. And as we saw, especially last week on Friday, when there was prima facie no misguided practice found in the books of Adani and in the overall MPS and shareholding pattern. I think the stocks rebounded and the rally continued Monday and Tuesday, a little dip yesterday. So anybody who stayed invested in Adani has made
gains.
money, and LIC, of course, being one of the large lenders itself, has stood in the green.
Absolutely, stood in the green, and that too to the point of 6,200 crore rupees since April.
That's right.
And is currently making huge profits there. 6,200 crores, has invested 45,481 crores, and thanks to the stellar rally in Adani stocks, LIC there minting money. Also good news coming in as far as its profits and its books is concerned.